What's up, everybody? Thomas here, coming at you with another video. Today I'm going to do a 1 weekend review of the Hamilton Apple CarPlay kit for my 2015 Lexus LX570. Holy shit, that was a lot. So anyways, this is my quick intro here. I got my Insta360 set up right here, so let's just get to it. All right, guys, so here we are with the car off. System's off. You can see my phone's up here. I'm going to turn it off right there, but you know, everything's off. So my phone, it's already connected to Apple CarPlay. It's already configured. So I'm just going to try to go, put you through the user experience and kind of give you my opinions of the system 1 weekend. So let's just get to it. So as you can see, car's powering up, the, factory units booting up. It does its little thing, and then I believe the Hamilton system kicks in and takes over. Boom. So those of us, let me mute this guy right quick. So those of you familiar with the 2015, or not 2015, but with the the 200 series, whatever Bluetooth thing, like when you have your phone connected, it takes it a minute to come up. So in my opinion, it seems to come up faster with this CarPlay in here. So as you can see, here's the CarPlay screen. This is what it looks like. This is what it last looked like. So you have kind of like the map, whatever map you're using. And if you're listening to a podcast or an audiobook or something, it'll show up right there. So, I'm not going to go deep into like Apple CarPlay and all that stuff. I'm just reviewing kind of like this system and how it's integrated into the Lexus and, how it kind of feels, with all the other factory controls here. So basically, here's the screen. So, you type on this, it has all these little squares. You hit that, it takes you to all your apps. What I have found, I don't think this is fault of the Hamilton unit. I just think that, this thing was built in 2015, and we all know Toyota's kind of lax when it comes to like technology in their vehicles, especially back then. So I don't think, what I'm going to touch base on here, I don't think this is a Hamilton issue. I just think it's, the car. So look, the screen, it looks good. There's nothing wrong with how it looks. I think one of the issues I have here is scrolling. So as you can see, it's really hard to kind of scroll. So you kind of like have to put your finger down and move it. It's not as fluid, you use your iPad or something, you can just swipe and it works. Doesn't work that way here. So you got to kind of like touch it and then kind of slowly move it over. And even then, it's still like, see how it does that and it won't go through. So it's almost like you got to go and push all the way. So, I mean, that's a little annoying. So what I kind of did to remedy that is just like the apps I use the most, I just put it on the main screen. And there it is. Because, while you're driving, trying to hold on to that and then making sure you're getting over it's kind of a pain. So I put my most used apps on this first screen here. So with that being said, here it is. You just, you type a button, boom, you go to this main screen, you hit that, it takes you to the apps. You can go to Google Maps. I have a Gaia. I don't have a subscription in right now, but, Gaia Maps pulls up and you can hit that. Oh, what's it doing? It's still booting. And then sometimes, some of these apps don't really play well in there, but as you can see, that's a little buggy. And I think that has to do mostly with the screen not being very, whatever the sensor, the capacitive sensors or whatever in this screen are probably like, not super, I don't know, how do you say it, responsive, because this screen, if you look at the old unit, it's just buttons and you just click on them. So it's not really, and I think with how they do the Apple CarPlay, it probably like resizes to the screen. But for the most part, is this better than the OEM unit, interface? Like, hell yeah. When it comes to maps and music and stuff like that, it is better. But let's get into the nitty gritty here. So let's say I'm listening to Spotify, right? I'm just listening to Spotify. Let's do some Wu-Tang Clan, shuffle play. Boom. So we're at the main screen of Spotify here. You can hit that guy here to take you to that screen. And then you can hit this here to get to your map simultaneous with the song playing. Smoke Buddha by Redman. Hell yeah. So let's just pause that for a minute. So say you want to go to your maps, full screen, just tip on the map, boom, you're there full screen. And I'm not going to go into the apps. I'm just kind of going with the experience here with the LX. So you guys say, what about the factory stuff? So what I will say is, when you're in the Apple CarPlay mode on the Hamilton unit, I will say this bank of buttons doesn't seem to work. See if I can hit climate, audio. See, none of that stuff really does anything. But I will say, like, the HVAC controls on this do work. So I can adjust my HVAC right here. These buttons do work. And, you know, I can, you know, off, and I can do the front and out. So all this bank of buttons works. It's just up here that don't work. So what you do is to go to the factory unit. You just, you know, the little speak button on the steering wheel, you just hold that down. Boom. And now you're back to the factory thing. And, you know, if you really need to tweak your climate controls, you click on climate. Audio. So the Hamilton uses the aux channel here. So, you know, if you want to use your Hamilton unit, you have to have it on aux. And then you kind of, if you want to go back to CarPlay, you know, you long press on the speak button. And boom, you're back to CarPlay here. If you want to go back to your factory, the factory unit, you long press it. And boom, you're back now. So with the radio, say you want to listen to radio and you want to have your maps going, that's possible. You got to go back. You got to go to FM. Let's get a channel here. What's going on? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, good grief. Come on, man. All right. So I have, you know, the radio's going right now, FM station. And say you want to go back to your car maps, you just long press. And boom, now you're listening to the radio and you're using your Apple CarPlay to check out maps. So at that point, what's not going to work is if you go, you know, back to Spotify and you hit play, there's not going to be any sound coming out because you're not on the aux channel, you're on the FM channel. So if you want to get back to using your CarPlay units, auxiliary or the audio from your CarPlay unit, you're going to have to long press here. You're going to have to go back to aux channel, then you long press, and now you're back to Spotify. Oh, and there you go. Spotify's up and running. So what else? What other scenario is there? Let's see. Let's pause that. Oh, let's pause that. And let's see, now you're driving, or the reverse camera. So let's just put it in reverse right quick. Boom. Reverse camera works. It pops back in place. You know, you can see the little lines move. So boom, reverse works. And then, you know, you put it back in park or you put it back in drive and it'll automatically switch over back to the CarPlay. So, opinion so far. I'm liking the unit so far. I was having an issue with calling. I was calling people and they said the feedback and the echo was hella bad. And I had emailed Hamilton about, you know, the feedback, and they gave me some suggestions about turning on the Bluetooth channel on the factory unit and this unit, and then kind of like using, for calling, you're using Bluetooth on the factory unit, and then for everything else, you're using, I don't know, it was a weird thing. So what they don't explain to you, or what they don't have, I mean, this is no dig at Hamilton, but to me, it seems like this unit seems to be like a rebadge of something. And they don't have like the factory manual for this, or it doesn't seem on their site or on their forums. I've looked, they have instructions and they have videos, and the videos are really good. Don't get me wrong. But say, the underlying operating system of the unit, right? So if you click on here and you actually go to car home, this is the underlying operating system of the unit. And, you know, there's CarPlay and there's this auto stuff and AirPlay for Android Auto. You can go here. That's how you set up your Bluetooth connection. And I believe if you have a camera hooked up to the system, you can, you know, look at the other cameras you have set up. For USB, I've plugged this into the unit, and I don't know how to tell whether I'm wired or using wireless on the CarPlay unit yet. So far, wireless has been working fine. I think I have 30 days before I can return this thing, but let's just get into one of the issues, the issue I was talking about with the calling, right? So Hamilton gave me this, you know, they sent me a PDF that kind of had like, you know, some instructions to improve calling. And guess what? It slightly improved it, but it did not improve it at all. But so if you go to the underlying OS, you go to setup, and man, there's a whole menu under here. And on their site, they don't have a manual that goes through any of these settings. So me messing around, I happen to click on audio here, and I can see that the microphone type. So I'm like, oh, look at this. I can use the OEM microphone, or back in the harness behind this unit, you could probably use an aftermarket microphone and plug it into that and then set it up in your car anywhere. But I'm using the OEM microphone. So I was like, okay, OEM microphone. So then I was like, whoa, what's this echo cancellation thing? So I click on that, and then you do this start EOC, and you'll hear it. Oh, look at that. I'm getting an error now. Wait 20 seconds. Estimate error. Try again. Wow, so see, I seem to be getting errors right now. So I don't know. Let's try to reboot the system here. Reboot. I did that before. So here's the system rebooting. It goes to this Hamilton, their own splash screen, it seems. So I'm guessing if you had some sort of interface, you could probably hook this up to a computer and maybe even tweak it yourself. But I don't know how I'd go about doing that. But I mean, I could maybe find, I don't feel like pulling this apart to look at it again, but I'm sure there's ways of doing that. So anyways, let's go back to that again. Because I did this before with no issues. So it's kind of weird that I'm seeing issues now. So echo cancellation, current delay 46. So I don't know what's going on. I'm getting these errors. I did this before I set up the camera and did any of this. I went through that and I had no issues with that thing. So just to get back to what I was originally talking about, when I did this echo cancellation thing and I did the start auto and it did the beeping, and the current delay was set to 1 and now it's set to 46. And I called some friends after that, and guess what? The echo was gone. They said calling seemed fine. So running that cancellation thing seemed to fix the echo issues. The only problem I think that they could kind of explain after that is I'm a loud person and I talk really loud, and I don't know, I just get carried away and I get loud. So I guess when I talk pretty loud, it goes on with the microphone that, you know, there's some distortion there. And it's probably because I'm talking hella loud. Most people probably don't talk as loud as me. But anyways, I will say running this echo cancellation feature here did solve the echo issue. And what sucks is, like, there's no manual, man. Like, you can go to audio and there's volume, and if you scroll up a little bit, there's this microphone OP gain and there's microphone PGA gain. I have no idea what those do, and I have nothing to reference to tell me what that will do. So Hamilton, if you get a hold of this video, dude, put out a manual, get something, whatever the original manufacturer, please let us get a hold of this thing so we can tweak it around and we can tweak our settings and, you know, get it dialed in. Because if not, man, I have a feeling people are going to be like, fuck this thing, and just send it back. So anyways, to get back to this initial review, so, you know, this is the underlying OS that's on the unit. And as you can see, there's CarPlay. So I can click on CarPlay to go back to CarPlay. Uh-oh. And there we go. CarPlay just died. So, dude, what the fuck, man? This was just, you guys just saw this. It was working. So, let me shut off the vehicle and see what's going on. Oh, so restarting my vehicle seemed to have, I don't know, restart the system. So I think I mean, it's probably my fault. I did a reboot, right? So I'm sure that reboot kind of like messed with the wireless connection between the system and the phone for the Apple CarPlay. But let me get back to this home screen, right? So you're on the underlying OS. If you want to go back to CarPlay, you can click CarPlay. Or if you want to get to yours, like, you know, I said you can get to your, the OEM interface by long pressing the speak button. But you can also get to it from this screen. So if you click on this third one and you hit return, it'll take you to the OEM menus there, the OEM interface. The long press brings me back. So, like, you know, I can go like this and kind of scroll, or you can hit these three little buttons. I accidentally hit something there. So let's just go back to the main screen and CarPlay, and boom. So in short, which it probably isn't short, this is probably kind of a long video. This is the system here, man. So I can, like I said, review. I can still, this bank of buttons right here works when you're in the CarPlay unit. This bank of buttons don't. If you want to get back to your OEM interface, you just long press here. Boom, you're back. If you want to listen to FM, you got to click FM. Get the radio. And then you go back. Boom, you're at the screen, looking at your maps, having a good day. Now, if you want to listen to Spotify, remember, you got to go back. And you got to go to the auxiliary channel. Do a long press, and then boom, let's go to Spotify and listen to our jams, Wu-Tang Clan playlist. Here we go. And now we're listening to Spotify on our head unit. Clicking on that, click on this little home button and take us to this screen. So overall, man, I like the, the deployment. I like this. It's nice having this. I've had the units that mount up top here and they suck. I hate them. And that's why I went back to just using my phone right here. But so far, I'm pretty happy with this. Like, I do not mind driving around with this screen going on right here. And I can just, press on it. And sometimes it's the button thing there. But I think that has to do with the screen. So, there I am pressing around, and let's go to maps. Oh, let's go to Gaia. Oh, let's go to Spotify. Boom. Oh, let's go to text messages. So, for the most part, let's check out my radar, actually. Let's see what's going on here. It's a really nice day today. Oh, so look, there's some maps there, and then I think, let's see. I don't really use this app a lot this is the first time I've seen it on the CarPlay, so I'm guessing maybe, if I'm driving, I'm like, man, it seems like a storm's coming up. Boom, I can click on that. But yeah, for the most part, the unit isn't that bad, man. So look, with the maps thing, it kind of goes back to the last one you use. So say if I go back to Google Maps, and then I go back to there again, there's the Google Maps. And let's look at Waze for a second. Let's scroll over. Waze. All right, there's Waze, and then let's go like this. Boom, we got Waze popping off right there. So I'm a Google Maps guy, even though they're owned by the same company, and I'm just gonna go like this, go back, and there we go. Let me lower this volume here and get out of this, or I can just pause it. Oh yeah, that's another thing, right? So volume controls, they pop up on your screen. There you go, the volume control right here, or the ones on the steering wheel work too. And then they kind of just go away. So yeah, for the most part, this unit works. There's some little, minor issues there that I kind of figured out on my own. Hopefully they put out a manual, and so far, but I will say they were responsive on email, so I'll give them that. But come on, guys, put up that manual. And I don't even know if they know about this, that, running this audio, when you go into audio, running this echo call cancellation, because they didn't even mention that. So for the most part, I accidentally clicked on USB there, but for the most part, Hamilton support's pretty good. They're responsive. I haven't tried calling them, but So for the most part, I'm digging the unit, man. I like it. I like the way it's executed here. Looks good. Looks OEM. You know, the screen's a little iffy because it's an old screen, but for the most part, for the most part, it's way better than the OEM shit. Because, I mean, come on, guys. Let's go look at this janky. Yeah, where are the maps? Let's go look at these janky-ass, outdated maps. Look at that thing. That sucks. Look at that. Boom. Oh, my goodness. Way better. Well, guys, that's pretty much it for my run-through of the Hamilton unit for right now. Remember, this is 1 weekend. Looking at their site, you have a 30-day return policy there. So maybe I'll give it 2 more weeks, 1 more week. So far, I'm liking it, though. So I'm not thinking about returning it right now because I am feeling it. So unless something else pops up that's catastrophic, I think I might keep this thing. Well, guys, that's pretty much all I got for today's video. Like always, thank you for watching. Peace.